Shalom, this is Sophia, the American Mariam, and I'm here live from a very interesting looking beach. Let me show y'all real quick. The ocean is literally like right here. This is like unbelievable. These waves, they're practically coming up to my feet, and I am, as you can see, back towards the edge, where the sea dunes are. So the tide is extremely high. Extreme. There's literally, like, where I'm sitting is the only little area where there is actually beach, and I'm still like looking to make sure that the water doesn't come up this far, because it could clearly come up this far. So this is very this frequently happens after the new moon, but usually it's hot, so the beach still maintains some sand, but today it is just about gone. So this is and it's not even high tide yet, so this is going to be a very interesting beach day for some people. So especially coming into the holiday, where I guess people will be coming to the beach. Might not be too much beach for them to come to like this. This is not a long beach like Miami. Miami Beach is a long beach. It's got a lot of sand. This is a relatively short beach. So it's incredible though. So first and foremost, I want to tell everybody Happy New Year. This is the ecclesiastical, there we go. This is the ecclesiastical New Year. And it also happens to be corporate New Year. So I wanted to make a video on this because we have to start thinking like we are the business. We are the ones who are running the show. And one of those things is to know when your year starts. So this is business New Year, okay? It's church New Year. I was going to look that up and see what that meant, but I probably had to put another video out because I didn't get a chance. I got here to the beach and I was so tickled that I didn't actually get to look that up, but and how the history of it. If I find an article, I'll just share it in the community page. But this indeed is the start of the new year, and it is not lost on me that this day is also Sabbath based on our observation of the sun. So there is something to this stuff. And this just ties us into a whole nother timeline. But what I really wanted to discuss today is that, again, it's the start of the new year for the church and for businesses. Corporations start their new year today. They usually have budgets that go through the end of September. And this is why in October, you have a lot of people being laid off. You have firings, stuff like that, usually in October, because the budgets go through the end of September. And they have through the end of September to, get their budgets together, see what their money is looking like, all of that. And so that is, of course, why, unknowingly to me, that we're going to be focusing on finances, sovereignty, American sovereigns. I'm just trying to find a way to use the word sovereign without being, we're not citizens, so I don't want to ever use that term because I'm only a citizen of heaven. You know what I mean? Like, that is my primary residency. It's not anywhere in this earth realm, so I don't want to use citizen. But we can say sovereign American because that could also be true. I can be a sovereign American without being a sovereign citizen. Just leave me alone and let me be an American, basically. So I might use that term. We'll see. We'll see if that gets me flagged or dinged or some weird stuff. It may, it may not. But the point is, now is the time for this stuff to be happening. Uh-oh. Okay. I thought this water was coming up to my feet. Like, Anyway, I have everything in my chair, so it's just amazing. See a big wave coming at you. Anyway, I'm sorry. This is so distracting. Yes. So we're at the start of the new year for businesses. We're at the start of the new year for church. Of course, if you're already fasting, you're starting your new year off pretty well. This is why, in my opinion, some people had so many good things happen to them following our fast last year, because we were fasting in through to the new year, and bringing some of that energy into. I'm just like, that's why I didn't pick it up. I said, I don't know what that is. Somebody had, anyway, random beach things. So, yes, as I was saying, I'm sorry, this is so disjointed, but imagine this is literally a new year. So if people have been feeling like pent up energy, anxiety, not knowing what's going on, like knowing something is coming and not coming, remember how you feel on New Year's Eve. The one that they force you to feel, right? It's the same energy. And for me, what's amazing is that I have always started my year in September, because my birthday is in September. So this is not really anything new to me, but I'm now starting to see that somehow I managed to tie into the celestial clock without even trying, because people don't really operate like this. And even, I think it was this time last year, there was a brother who had done an explanation of how to plan your year, when to take your vacations and stuff like that, just based off your personal calendar. And that is that calendar does work. But as that calendar works, it actually times into this particular timeline, being on the timeline of the church. So it's really it's one of those things that's very interesting, and of course we'll be going into it. But the point, okay, I'm telling you, this is like New Year's Day. You're celebrating, you're drinking your champagne and whatever. That's what this feels like. It literally feels like a new year. So back to this American sovereignty. So you really want to be determining what you want your businesses to look like. I think this is going to hit my feet. It just barely hit my toes. Okay. You want to be thinking about what you want to do, who you want to serve for this fiscal year. And so if you've been wondering where all of the distractions are for, why they want you to miss this. This is a very, very powerful time to manifest. All of September, because this is a time, at least in the federal government, where they make their budget. Now, what does that mean for us? How do we apply these principles? Because remember, the government is only pretending to be the Father. They're usurping how the Father operates, how the celestial hierarchy operates. They're literally usurping it and pretending that they have the qualifications to actually do these things. Boy, these waves are ginormous. I might not be able to stay here too long. So what does that mean for you? How does that play out for you in your life, right? This is the time when, in the budget making process, this is the time when all the final details get ironed out. So if you've been trying to manifest something that you would call large for the last year, right? And you haven't quite been able to get it, and it's not quite coming together the way that you wanted, those kind of things, right? Now is the time to make sure it gets into the budget, because the budget, the celestial budget, just like the government budget, is going to be finalized when the funding runs out on September the 30th, because the federal government funding runs out on September the 30th. And so if you don't know, if the federal government is unable to pass a budget by September the 30th, then the government shuts down. So we have to look at the celestial kingdom operating in a similar manner. If so except for the celestial kingdom is going to pass the budget. It's not going to be like the government. But what the government does is they pass a budget called an omnibus budget. That is not how they're supposed to pass budgets. That is literally absolutely not what they're supposed to do at all whatsoever. There's many rules against this. What they do, it is completely illegal, wrong. They're not supposed to do it, but this is what they do. Instead of passing separate budgets, because they have these different committees, and the different committees are supposed to vote on the different budgets for the for the different things. So instead of doing that, what they do is they put everything in one big huge budget, and it's called an omnibus. And when they do this big huge budget, the Senate and the House has to basically vote for it or vote against it. And because they hold on. And because they what you call it? Y'all, my words. Oh, because they waited for the last minute, and the government is going to close like the next day, if whoever doesn't vote for the budget is the person that takes the responsibility for the government shutting down. And then you have all the bureaucrats in DC and surrounding areas mad at you specifically. So when Trump was in office, many of you all will recall that they shut down the government. I think it was right after Christmas, and you had all of those black women going to Mitch McConnell's office, the security officers and stuff, going to Mitch McConnell's office and complaining about, he needed to pass the budget, this and that, get them back to work, all of this stuff, right? So now, mind you, they have the president, whoever the president is, they submit the budget in January. These people have from January all the way until, this is halfway through the year. So we'll talk about this a little bit more too, in scheduling out your fiscal year for yourself. So these people get the budget in January, what the president wants. He's the one who gives the first budget, and then after he gives his budget, then everybody else puts their piece in there and says, okay, we need this, we need that, and they come to the conclusion. So he gives his budget in January. These fools wait every single year, 9 whole months, entire months, get to the 9th month, and then say, oh, we have to work on the budget. And they do nothing until the 9th month. No decisions come, no deals come, no nothing comes. They literally purposely wait until the 9th month to do the budget. Because why? People are back in school, not paying attention. They think they can get away with more stuff. And this is what they've been doing for a very, very, very long time. So you have to understand, this is done for politics. This is not done because it's more helpful to the people or anything like that. However, for us it's good, because it means that we have this whole month to petition the Most High, the Mother, our angels, our guardian angels, everybody. Because if you remember my celestial hierarchy, which we're definitely going to have to, I'm going to reshare that video later. We're going to have to dig back into that. If you remember the celestial hierarchy, your guardian angels are like senators. Yeah, because there's a fixed number. And then the beings from Mercury, I had said, are like the House of Representatives. But now I'm also thinking you have the saints in there too somewhere. And maybe the saints are the beings from Mercury. I don't know. We haven't had a chance to cross-reference everybody because it's a lot. Not Mercury. The Earth Zone. The Earth Zone. Those are kind of like all of the saints and the martyrs. But there's more than 360 saints and martyrs. So I have a feeling that they take on different offices. There's a lot of different stuff going on there. But basically, your angels, your personal spiritual team, like I have been telling you, is the one who's going to make sure your appropriation gets funded. And so if you don't know who you are, you don't know who your spiritual team is, you don't know what angels to go ask, you don't know, you haven't done enough research on you to know who your spiritual team is. Indeed, you may come out of this time not having what you need. And unlike any other time on the planet, we have all of our spiritual team available to us. So what you ask for, you will get if you have a relationship with your spiritual team. So again, I posted a video yesterday on how to build a relationship with your saint. I posted, I'll go and post a celestial hierarchy, but it's really, really important for you to focus your energy this month on asking for what you want. Do not get distracted by whatever they try to throw out there, whatever crap they have going on. You need to be spending day and night focused on what you want, asking for what you want, because October the 1st, that is when the appropriations are going to start to be passed out. And I believe that to be true. And it's not going to be like any other year. This is why you have to love like you've never been hurt, because maybe you have done this before. I would tell myself, I did this last year. I do this every year. 1 year ago today, basically, is when I started working on the process to become a secured creditor. And it's a whole year later that I learned how to actually use it. It took a whole year to go through the process and learn how to use it and come to some conclusions on how to actually get stuff done. A whole entire year. And this is what I started last year. So, I just imagine now that if I had, and I followed the instructions the angels gave me, because I did the ritual to connect myself with the saints and the spirits that are on the earth realm. I did the ritual, so, which is my ritual. Nobody has this ritual but me. But I did it. I did it on my birthday. And so, that's something I'll probably be renewing this year. And should the spirits say that I can share it, then I'll share it. But I'm not just going to be giving my stuff away, because, people watch my videos, they take the information, they use it for themselves. They're not using it to help other people. They certainly don't send me anything for getting them out of different spiritual things using my information. And so, I'm not like in this to make a profit, but at least, good gracious, if you're using my information and it's helpful to you, you could send me a few dollars or whatever. Not that I'm not doing this for the money, but when I get information from people, as soon as I have money to spend, I literally send them money. I don't have a problem with that. But a lot of people are getting information, from me, using it, not telling anybody where they're getting it from, or even that they're using it, but I know that they're using it based on the way certain things are reacting. So, as a seer or oracle, you don't think that you're using my information, secretly, because I know who used my information. And it's fine. I don't care about who used my information or who doesn't use my information, because that's not what it's about for me. It's just that, if you're going to use my information, think about me. Think about the least of these. Think about me when you use my information. Anyway, so I'm sorry, that was a long tangent. But so yeah, now is the time to connect with your guardian angels. If you haven't done anything for your guardian angels in a long time, now is a good time this month is a good time to do that. Petition your guardian angels. Hey, I need this. Hey, I need that. If you don't know who your saint is, I'm going to run a special this weekend where we can do an ancestor reading, and I'll find out who your saint is and tell you how to connect with them. And I'll post the flyer for that, and we'll do that special again this weekend. But I'm not going to keep doing that, because people, the people who really need to take advantage of it are not. And it's not really, unless you've already been studying Orthodoxy or Catholicism, you're not really going to be able to find your saint for yourself. It's going to be quite difficult because, came up to my toes again. So, yeah, because the saints they're not hard to figure out, but a lot of people just don't have the authorization or the access to that information. You have to respect them. A lot of people, they don't respect Catholics. They don't respect Orthodox. And so they wonder why they can't figure out who their saint is. Well, you completely disrespect their belief system. How can you completely disrespect their belief system and think that they're going to help you? This is why you have to be tolerant. I don't know who's working with me. I'm tolerant of everybody's belief system because I don't know who's working with me. And I don't want to, as it comes back around, find out, oh, this spirit has been trying to work with me. This is somehow in my bloodline somewhere, and I done dogged them out. I mean, this is just, I know people are not thinking about this kind of stuff, but this is how, would you be trying to, just like I said, would I be trying to deal with somebody who deliberately dogged me out? No. I would have a problem with that. Any reasonable person would have a problem with that. And yet, you want these spirits to work with you, and you've been dogging out the Catholics, dogging out the Orthodox, actually believing that they're all the same, haven't looked into life, not one saint, not one martyr, not nobody. Just listening to what people are saying on the internet and not doing your own research. That's a huge problem. Ooh. This water is something. This water is something. You should, sorry, that was close. I thought I was going to have to jump up. Move my stuff. That's how quick the water was coming in. Anyway, so that's, okay, so back to asking for what you want. Right. This is our fiscal new year. All right. This is our church new year. So whatever pantheon you're going to be researching spiritually this year, now is a good time to select that. If you're going to study the Orthodox for this year, that's cool. If you're going to go back into Hebrew stuff for another year because you want to get some things right, that's fine too. If you're going to look into Buddhism or any other, whatever it is you're going to study for the year spiritually, now's a good time to pick that out too. Me, I'm doubling down with the Orthodox because I haven't done a whole study of the Orthodox from year to year. So I'm doubling down with Orthodoxy. I want to really get my teeth into it and make sure I understand it. Because I don't understand everything the way that I want to. I don't have the fullness. So I'm doubling down on this ecumenical new year, really trying to figure out why certain days are what they are, why things happen when they happen, when it's good times to do stuff, best practices and stuff like that. So if you're going to take on a new area of research, or you want to know what area of research you should take on, now's a good time to ask your spirits, ask your ancestors, ask your angels, and figure out what that is. This is, even as far as like a business is concerned, if you want to have a business or something like that, now is a good time to really dig down into that and figure out, what it is you want to do with that, what you're interested in. Now remember, every business doesn't have to produce money. You guys have to, sometimes you have a business just for the credits. And I know that's a very unusual, this water is. I know that's a very unusual strategy. However, the idea is to get into the habit of having a business. And I know that there are people who will disagree with me on this, and that's fine. But I know what has worked for me. You want to find what you're passionate about, and then you want to attach a dollar sign to it. I'm sorry. I am not of the belief that you have to have an audience for every product. Sometimes you have products of passion, and most of my products are products of passion. I just I get the idea, and I take that idea and I monetize it. I don't think of the monetization first. I don't look for an audience first. And I know that there are lots of people who will disagree with me, but I think that doing it the other way is intimidating for people who have never been involved in business. The point of having a business, even if it doesn't make money, is for tax credits. Okay? It's called research and development. Because as you research a product, now this is not going to pay any of your bills. Like, the bills and the business are two totally separate things. What we're talking about is how to structure your thought process so that you can tap into the energies that are available. So you don't want to look at like, oh, I need to have a business and I wanted to pay my bills and this and that. That's not how that works. And of course there will be people who disagree with me. That's fine. But I'm just giving you my understanding, what I do, the way I think about it. The way the Spirit gave it to me a long time ago. So this is not for the purpose of making money. The business is not for the purpose of making money. Matter of fact, the business is for the purpose of losing money, actually, technically. It's investment. It's research and development. If you have a regular 9-to-5 job and you don't have a business that you put up against it, you pay way more in taxes than you should, because your business, whether it makes money or not, is literally what you do within that business is literally a write-off. And so these are some huge waves. Okay, if I'm just looking at them because they're like, I'm already where there's like no shoreline. So if that wave comes way up here that high, I'm going to be underwater. That's how big these waves are. So I just don't think I've ever seen the water look like this, where it literally looks like the water is taller than me. Yeah, that one's coming up under my feet. Ooh, yeah, that one hit my feet. I knew it was. I'm like, that's a wave. I never seen a wave like that. Now I was right. That one hit my feet. Okay, so I'm sorry this is so disjointed, but I almost feel like I'm channeling. And so I'm interjecting with my own, the sister calls them commercial breaks. I'm interjecting with my own commercial breaks in the midst of the channeling. So you want to have a business alongside of your regular quote unquote government job that allows you to have a way to have research and development credits. Because if you look up research and development credits, there's a guy named Eon, he talks about this extensively. You can literally, they're 100% refundable. You know what I mean? You can get money back from those. And the reason why it's important to structure your life like this is, yeah, you need to have something where you make money to pay the bills, absolutely. But you also can invest your time, your love into a project that maybe the project doesn't go anywhere. Maybe it's not as successful as you see other people's projects are. But a lot of people don't understand that overnight success never happens overnight. It takes like 10 years to be an overnight success. And that's if you do the same thing for 10 years. If you're a person like me who refuses to do the same thing from year to year, basically, you'll never be an overnight success because you keep changing it. You keep changing your direction. And there's nothing wrong with that, but just understand that overnight success usually takes 10 years. Literally, it's a 10-year process to become an overnight success. And so I'm just imploring people. This is why, again, go to the website, 644online.com, and you can copyright your name. We're going to start offering those services real soon, and we want people to get in the pipeline for that. So as soon as we start actually doing this process, people can get started with that. That's how you get your sovereignty as a sovereign American. This is how you get your this is we talk all about this in the course. Let me just put it that way. I'm just giving y'all a general overview because I want people to understand, how they can use this fiscal new year as a way to restart their own money in their own life. Oh my gosh. Whoa. I might have to move. Hold on. That was a bit much. I hope my stuff didn't get wet. Holy smokes. Y'all just seen how far up that wave came? That thing it came all the way up. Sorry y'all, I had to slide back a little bit. Give myself a little bit more space because that wave came all the way up underneath my chair, all the way back. So I'm back as far as I can go right now. All right, so I feel a lot better. Being up a little bit further, I feel better. Okay, so how we're going to utilize the fiscal new year. All right, so we are going to be talking about financial related topics for the next month. We're going to be talking about how to get our financial house in order, what I can share that can be made public. Everything else is going to be in our group. Which again, we're starting people off with the copyright so you can have your name situated. Then when you get ready to deal with your bills, you already have something in place. So, there's a lot of moving pieces to this information. So it's crazy how this just so happens to tie together, like just at this time, because I'm telling y'all, I'm really surprised how the Most High is just putting us on this timeline. This is literally the timeline. Like, this is when you want to start your financial new year. And this is when all the companies start their financial new years. That's why they have these Labor Day sales. They had to create this holiday so at the beginning of their year, they could make some money. It's amazing to me. Like, it's amazing to me. If you take out the corruption of the way the corporatocracy operates, you will literally see how the Most High just set this thing up. This is not some random organization of things. This is you start your year with a harvest. That completely makes sense. I mean, how else is the Most High going to operate? Why would he start his year with a cold, barren ground and things just starting to grow? No, you would start your year with a harvest. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to start our year, our financial new year, with a harvest. And the only way to do that is to get on the timeline. And of course, the only way I knew it was a timeline was because I was studying the Orthodoxy. And literally, my calendar ended yesterday. And I was like, the one I used for the daily prayers, I said, well, where's my calendar at? I needed, what is going on here? Where's the calendar? So I went back to the website where I got the other calendar, and that's when I found out, oh, this is the church new year. And then I was listening to a brother in a meeting I was in, and he said, oh yeah, it's a business new year. I said, wait a second. Oh, how do you have business new year and church new year at the same time? What do they know that we don't? So this is why, there's multiple. I need to make the thing to help with this, because there's multiple timelines going on at we have multiple experiences within this human experience. So there's multiple timelines going on at once, and so we really have to stay on top of these multiple timelines. And so because you have your personal timeline, then you have your this kind of spiritual religious timelines, and you have your financial timeline. I just didn't even realize that this is just so much information, and it's overwhelming. I'll tell you the truth. It's very overwhelming for someone like me, because I always lived my life like this and I just didn't know why. So now finding out the why of why I've lived my life like this is very it's overwhelming. It's really overwhelming. So yes. So yes, you want to be thinking about what it is you would do for free if no one paid you. Because ideally, oh, my nose is so itchy. All this fresh air. It's very, very windy too. I'm sure you guys can tell. Ideally, the Most High will be paying you for what it is that you do. And if the Most High is paying you to do it by fulfilling your request that you put in for this month, then when you do something, you won't do it for money. You're not doing it for the money. So what are you doing it for? Who are you doing it for? Why you're doing it? And that's what you really want to dig down on. Why you are doing something. Like, my first business, my very first product line, which I'm sure I'll be bringing back soon because I can see the writing on the wall on that, was for lotions. I made lotions, soaps, body butters, oils, body washes, and stuff like that. But I had come up with a blend, a very specific blend of essential oils that I used to make these things. And these blends were used for different things, like what you were trying to accomplish. And so I made up all these body butters, I had oils, and I used essential oils because at the time, this was 2006, 2007. At the time, I was, finding out about all the stuff that was in body washes and stuff, especially the sodium lauryl sulfate, which is really, really bad for you. It dries out your skin, makes your skin really, really bad. And so I had really, really bad dry skin. And so, not eczema, because my skin wasn't like flaky or anything like that. It was just super dry. And so that's why I started making these body butters and stuff. But then after a while, I was selling them, right? But then I was basically like giving them away to people, like, "Ooh, look at your skin. Here, take this. I want your skin to be not to be like that. Just take it." You know what I mean? Because I had already paid for it, and even at that time in 2006, I knew how to write off my losses, so I just wrote off a lot of stuff as losses. And so, like, when they have this stuff on sale today, this weekend, okay, think about this. When they have these Memorial Day sales this weekend, right? The end of the year was yesterday. So they've already written off all that stuff as a loss, literally. And so the sales they have this weekend is pure 100% profit. And that's how it is with the Most High. If he gave you the money to get the supplies, and he gave you the time to make the product, then whatever you sell is profit. And you don't have to be greedy about making yes, you want to make profit, but you don't have to be greedy about it. You make as much as you need. If you see people in need, you give them stuff away. You don't, make a bunch of stuff and then, never, don't actually use it. Don't sell it either. Don't give it away. Don't anything. That's not the way the Most High operates. And a lot of this is seeing how he operates using this fake financial governmental system. Seeing how he operates in the midst of this fake financial governmental system. That's what it is. How does he operate in spite of these people? How does he do these stuff in spite of these people with their wickedness and with the way that they are, with the way that they're doing their stuff? How does he operate in spite of it? And I've been an observer of that for a long time, just being from DC and seeing how the government operated. And, knowing that, okay, if there's a God, he's somehow in charge of this. But I hadn't figured it out. But now I'm pretty clear on how this, I have a better understanding now than I did before on how this might happen. And so I'm just sharing that with you all because I will be doing this. Today is, like I say, I'm celebrating New Year's. In the midst of my fast, I'm going to be putting down some plans. I'm going to be putting down some strategies for how I'm going to operate. I'm going to be really looking into what it is that I need to accomplish this year, what I want to study spiritually, where I want to travel, putting together my petition schedule for this month. I'll be petitioning my guardian angels, my other angels, my celestial angels, my saints, everybody. I'm going to petition everybody this month. Most High willing, I'll, if they want me to, I'll share my method for connecting with these various spirits. We'll see what they say. We'll see what they say. I'm going to renew my contract with my with the angels here and let them know that we've had a productive year. Go through, do my reviews of my year from last year this time to this year this time. See how things are different. Summaries, reports, stuff like that. And I'm going to take this very, very seriously, because as a business, as the business of my spirituality, I have invested a lot of time in myself spiritually this year. And I want to make sure that I do the proper accounting for that, so that I don't find that, for some reason I start to think that my spirituality isn't a good enough investment. And so, being that it's the church new year and the financial new year, we have to put those things together. For your financial investment into this year, into the last 12 months, did you see a return? Did you see a return spiritually? And if you didn't, that's something you had to take it with the Most High. Hey, I invested myself in you, in your word, in your will, in your way this year, and I didn't get a return. Now, if there's a bunch of stuff the angels told you to do and you didn't do it, things they told you to feel that you wouldn't feel, research they told you to conduct that you wouldn't conduct, and you were hard-hearted and hard-headed, then hey, you get what you get. There's nothing anybody can do about that. This is why you have to be very intentional with your spiritual life, just like you have to be intentional with your finances. Matter of fact, this is a clear evidence that you have to be as intentional with your spiritual life as you are with your finances. So if you're watching how every dollar is spent, you need to be watching how every single bit of your energy is spent. Who is spending it? Why they're tapped in? If they have access. If they don't, you got to cut them off. You got to put them out and say, no, this emotion doesn't have authority to operate in my life. So you are being recalled, removed. You can't stay. And if you don't do these things, you're not going to accomplish anything by the next year. So I'm hoping for next year that I have a calendar or something put together so we can follow along with this a little bit more easily, because it seems to me, honestly, that if this is the financial new year, then we should be able to chart the energies over the next year and see how they're going to influence us. So that's something I'll probably post a video with that later on the chart for the chart for this year for our finances, because this is the start of the year. This is the energies that are going to influence us for the whole year. So we want to see where we're at, see what cards we have, see where our tree of life lines up. This is just another way that we're getting into line with the tree of life, with our tree of life. Not some tree of life being superimposed on us, but the tree of life being offered to us by the Most High, by the Mother, by our spiritual team, by our brother, by our sister, and really honoring that energy. The waves are starting to calm down a little bit. I can see the blue part of the ocean again. So I hadn't even thought about that. I'm going to have to go back and rewatch this video. I know it was a bunch of shenanigans, but you will notice that when I give information that's really, really specific, especially related to taxes and stuff like that, it have to be more shenanigans, because I don't want them to flag my video, remove my video. I want the information to get to you all. So I have to throw a bunch of extra stuff in there. And you'll notice that anybody who gives out information like this is what they do. They bury it in a bunch of other whatever stuff so that you can't, you don't really get the point. So I hope this is helpful to somebody. I'll probably just do another video and talk about some of the other stuff. but this should be enough for people to get started this morning. And I appreciate y'all for listening all the way to the end. Please, please, please go to the website 644online.com. Sign up for our wait list, and as soon as we start offering the copyright services, which remember it's going to be $150, and with the $150 you're going to get the documents. You're going to get an explanation. First of all, you're going to get an outline of the information, a physical outline and a verbal outline. You're going to get an explanation of the documents. You're going to get the documents yourself that you have to fill in. Now, if you need help filling in your documents, we will offer that as an additional service. That'll be available, but that means someone will have to call you and all of that stuff. So we're going to have the documents there to be filled out. We have our public posting on our website. We're going to post the document publicly, and then we're going to tell you how to have your affidavit saying that it has been posted for 21 days. And that's the entire copyright process. So if you're interested, go to the website 644online.com and sign up there. All right, everyone, we'll see you in the next video. Shalom.